What's up, YouTube? Hope you had a good winter. As you can see, spring has sprung here in Minnesota. So let's give a little recap of what the spring looked like. So starting off here in early April, we had some snow mold here on the areas that were shaded that the snow took the longest to melt. That's close to the house on the north side. Things aren't looking okay in the backyard here then. You can see that fairly brown, a little bit of color, but lots of dog pea spots. Not really much snow mold damage, just lots and lots of dog pea spots. I'm surprised how much color I actually had. A lot of times it's fairly brown here, but I think the lower height of cut going into the winter kind of held on to some of the color along with the perennial rye. Moving along here to April 21st, you can see green is definitely starting to pop through, more so than before. Having that shorter height of cut allows the grass to grow up only an inch to start to see that green rather than 3 or 4 inches like some other people. Lots of dog pea spots throughout here. Definitely going to have to seed this to do some fixing. And here's a close-up on one of those dog pea spots. You can see as I scratch this up that there's really nothing alive left in there. And then I'm going to have to reseed to get it to come back since I don't have too much Kentucky bluegrass in this area.
This patch here, though.
I don't know why this spot in particular was so green. I don't have an explanation. Just kind of a random observation. And here's the worst of the dog pea spots. Yeah, runs up that strip right there. And here's a spot that I'm going to have to level later on this year. Probably dig some of it out. Remove the soil to get it more even. I'm trying my best to show it here, but not sure how well that comes across on camera. Back in this corner, underneath the swing set, I think a little bit of this is snow mold because this again was kind of on the north side of these trees that was shaded and the snow took the longest to melt.
Not too bad.
But definitely as you see across the rest of the lawn there, that's all dog pea spots. Again, then I'll have to spot seed this spring. Again, from this angle, you can definitely see that green spot out in the middle of the yard. I don't really have any explanation. It's not different cultivars or grass type. Kind of the same mix that the rest of the lawn is. Now here we are against my fence line. This is such an awkward area. This is like water runoff that kind of goes down this way. So water can go between the two yards. So I don't necessarily maintain that this well. You can see that here it's 9 inches. Lots of leaves that I need to clean up still. I'll get to all that this spring. I just kind of ran out of time at the end of the year. If you have any suggestions of this area again, let me know. It's just kind of that awkward area that I'm not sure what to do. The main thing that I can think of right now is just keep this grass and then plug that into any dog spots that show up either next spring or throughout the summer, and just plug them from this area that I don't care about and go put them out in the middle of the yard. So here we are moving on to my side yard.
Still really wet in here. You see my neighbor. It's not huge. Just a couple steps, but in the back as well. They're sloping down this way into my yard. This is all snow mold. This is looking alright. This part is lacking a little bit. See, in here, there's actually green stuff poking through.
That's just definitely how I can tell that it's snow mold.
That's fine fescue.
Had to point that out, that it can stay more green as we go into spring.
It's pretty hard to tell. Here you can kind of tell there's a little bit of a color difference. More snow mold. This is all snow mold up front. This should be fine fescue. Right in here. Really thick.
Now moving on to the beginning of May, you can see we did another big jump in color here within just, a week or two. The dog pea spots are definitely showing now where I need a spot seed. You can definitely tell that there's no green popping up through them again. Color is looking pretty good here considering that we had a really slow and cold spring. Here's just another example of a dog pea spot. You see nothing really growing in there. Here you can see some dog spots that didn't burn, but you can see the nitrogen release is causing some surge growth in those areas. Now my garden, definitely need to do some cleanup. Clean up these hydrangeas, the daylilies. Got some tulips starting to poke through at this time. Sedums need to be cleaned up. Not a whole lot going on with the lilacs. Blackgrass is the worst weed that I'm going to be dealing with this year, just because it's a grassy weed that spreads via rhizome. So I'm really just trying to cut lower and possibly paint the tips with glyphosate this year. If you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe and follow along with my journey the rest of the year.